Hi y'all, my name is Quinn, my pronouns are they, them, and welcome to my channel, Lucid Moons. I'm here today to do my June and July retrospective video. This is basically a video where I look back on my life and my tarot practice for the past 2 months or so and talk a little bit about what I've been up to, what decks I've been using, what movies and shows I've been watching, etc, etc, etc. These videos are usually very long, so grab a beverage. I have my coffee with oat milk here with me, and get comfy. I have a lot to talk about and a lot of decks to show, so let's get started. The first thing I want to talk about is all of my highlights throughout the past 2 months, and there were a lot of exciting things going on. In the very beginning of June, I got like deathly ill with a stomach bug. It was horrible. It's the first time that that's happened to me in a very long time. And I don't know if it was a food poisoning thing or if I caught it from someone else, but either way, it was horrible and it really put me out for over a week. And yeah, it was not fun. So during that time, I didn't do anything. I was pretty much in my bed suffering. I didn't read tarot. I literally just like laid in bed for a week watching TV, and it was horrible. I hate doing that. Like, I hate being sick, and I hate not being able to do things that I love, not being able to work out, not being able to read my tarot cards, etc. So it was kind of a weird start to the month. But at the end of June, I had a trip for work. So if you watch my last retrospective video, we took our students to San Diego in May, at the very end of May. And we did a second trip at the end of June to Flagstaff, which is a really, really lovely little mountain town up in the northern part of Arizona, which is where I live. I used to live in Flagstaff, so I was the one that took lead on planning all the activities for this trip. And for those of you that don't know, I work for a program that serves first generation and low income students, high school students, and basically our goal is to get them excited about college, help them get scholarships, financial aid, help them get into college or a career. So we took them to Flagstaff, and on the way up, we went swimming in the creek at Sedona, which was just absolutely amazing. It was so beautiful. We got rained on, which was cool. I absolutely love Sedona. And then we stayed at a cute little hotel. We went swimming in the hotel, which the students always love. And I'm a water baby. I love swimming. So I'm always right there with them, like swimming. I'm like facilitating little competitions and games and stuff like that in the pool. It's just what I do. The next day we went on a tour of the community college in Flagstaff in the morning, and then we took them out for a little picnic lunch at this beautiful foresty park. The students got to walk around in the forest, they got to play on the playground, which was really cute, and just enjoy being in the beautiful nature. We live down in southern Arizona where it's ridiculously hot, and so it was nice for them to get to experience, you know, a really nice, beautiful summer day where you can actually go outside and walk around and play. We also took them to the downtown area, which is really cute. We walked around. I went into a couple of crystal stores and witchy stores, and I got myself a little tarot deck that I'll be showing you later on in this video, which was really cute. And in the evening time, we went to the observatory up there, which unfortunately was really cloudy that day. There was a lot of storms happening, monsoons happening while we were visiting. So we didn't get to look through the telescopes or anything. It was kind of a bummer, but it's still just a really lovely area, a lovely setting. And then on the final day, we took a tour of the university in the town, and then we did an extreme adventure course, which we almost didn't get to do because of bad weather, but luckily we were able to do it for a little while. We were climbing on all of these like obstacle courses, zip lines, like it was so much fun. Of course, I was there participating alongside the students, and it was just a really great trip. We usually take around 42 high school students with us on these trips. We pack the bus essentially. And so as you could imagine, traveling with that many teenagers can be stressful. It's a lot of work to plan these events, you know, finding restaurants that can accommodate us and hotels and all of this and that, right? So it was a lot of work, but it ended up being worth it. We had a really fun time. In early July, I took a trip up to my home city of Phoenix, which is only about an hour and a half, 2 hours from where I live. And I got to see my grandfather. and just spend some time with my mom and dad. It was a very chill, low-key weekend. My mom took my partner and I to go see the musical Hamilton on one of the days we were there, which was really sweet of her, and we had a lot of fun with it. I didn't think I was going to enjoy it as much as I did. It's definitely not my favorite musical that I've ever seen, but I thought that it was really interesting, and I thought that the actors and the singers and even the musicians down in the pit were like so talented, and I really, really enjoyed just like seeing all of their talent and stuff. But I think it was just a little, that one, I mean, musicals are always kind of cheesy and kind of corny, right? That's the name of the game. And I do love musicals, but it was a little goofy in some parts, right? I think it was kind of one of those things that got like super hyped up. But I did, like I said, I did enjoy it more than I thought. And it was just fun having that experience with my mom and my partner. We actually got stranded in Phoenix because I had some car issues, and we had to take my car to get fixed while we were there. So we got to spend a couple extra days. We were carless, so we were just kind of chilling, watching TV, hanging out with my mom and dad, which was fun. And later on in July, another highlight is that my girlfriend was celebrating her 5th anniversary of starting her transition, which is a huge deal. Like 5 years is huge. So we did a very last minute spontaneous trip with 2 of her sisters to San Diego. I had just gone in May for work, but it's different, right? When you're going with a bunch of teenagers and when you're just going for fun. And we took a couple days to like travel out there. So really there was like 2 days of travel and then like 1 full day in San Diego, which was amazing. We went to the aquarium. We went to the tide pools at La Jolla. We ate really good food. We went to the beach up at Torrey Pines, which was really lovely. I got to hula hoop on the beach a little bit, swim in the ocean. And finally, we didn't anticipate this or plan this out, but it was Pride that weekend that we were visiting. And so we didn't attend any of like the parades or the festivities or anything, but we did go to the gay district, which I can't remember it in my brain right in this minute. I'll try to write it on the screen. It starts with an H. Hillcrest? Yeah, I think it's Hillcrest. I'll correct myself if I'm wrong though. And we just got to walk around and see all the people that were all dressed up and partying, and we went around to the little shops, and it was just really, really lovely. We had a really, really nice time. It was a much needed little mini vacation for the summer with just me and my partner and her sisters to do something really fun. And the last big highlight was I had my very first aerial sling performance, and it was just a small little community event. It was a fundraiser, so I performed like for charity at this event to raise some money for a circus space. And I planned this routine kind of quickly, kind of last minute, but it all came together really well. A lot of my friends came out to support me. My mom drove down from Phoenix to come see me, and she stayed the night, and we got to spend some extra time with her, which was just so lovely. She got to meet a lot of my friends down here. And yeah, it was really cute. It was really wholesome. I'm really proud of what I created. For those of you that don't know what the heck aerial sling is, I will try to insert like a short video of my performance here. So the next thing I want to talk about is movies that I saw and TV shows that I watched. So for movies, we've been watching a ton of movies, like older movies. We've been rewatching the Alien series in preparation for the new Alien movie that's coming out, Romulus, I believe it's called. We've been watching like a lot of true crime documentaries on Netflix, things like that. But I'm really just going to focus on the newer movies that we either saw in theaters or that have come out on streaming recently. And I'll try to throw up some pictures. So the first movie we saw at the beginning of, I'm sorry if I mentioned it already. I don't think I did, but it was either at the very end of May or the very beginning of June. We saw the movie I Saw the TV Glow. Oh my gosh, this movie was amazing. I give it 5 stars. It was such a powerful movie. It was so well done. It was so heart-wrenching, you all. Like, absolutely beautiful. Just amazing. For those of you that don't know, it was created by a trans creator, and it is very much a trans story. So it had kind of mixed reviews because I think a lot of cis people that were watching it maybe didn't understand, like they didn't feel the same emotional impact that this story really tells. But I thought it was absolutely stunning. The ending was so sad. Like, we were crying, and it was just, yeah, it was so good. I highly recommend watching it, even if you're not trans or gender non-conforming, or if you're not part of the LGBTQ community. I still highly recommend you go see it, come up with your own ideas about it, and then look up a quick analysis, from that trans perspective, so that it can give you that extra additional layer of understanding if you don't necessarily get it, And I love doing that with most movies anyways, the ones that are like very metaphorical or have like a deeper meaning. I always love to look up different analyses online and see what people are getting from this movie or what they think it means and stuff. So I highly, highly recommend that movie. It was so touching and just a beautiful work of art, in my opinion. Really glad that movie exists. I also saw the newer slasher called In a Violent Nature. This one was kind of a really interesting take on the traditional slasher film. It was very much a Friday the 13th kind of story, but this one went through the movie from the perspective of the slasher himself, and I don't know, it was cool, it was unique. It was set in Ontario, I believe, in the forest, so it was really gorgeous setting. I love the setting. I would give it like a 2.5 or 3 stars. Like, it didn't super wow me. It wasn't like the coolest movie I'd ever seen, but I did think they did really well considering it was a low budget. It was interesting. It was an interesting take on the slasher. And yeah, it wasn't like the best movie ever, but it wasn't bad. I had fun with it. I also saw Long Legs. I would give that around the same rating, maybe like a 2.5 to 3 stars. It was not my favorite. I was really excited. Like, we were so excited to see this movie. I thought it was going to be really creepy. I thought it was really marketed like a horror film. And I thought it was going to be like one of the scariest, like, I thought it was going to be like an artsy, scary kind of movie. And it was definitely more of a mystery, like a crime mystery thriller than a horror movie, by far, which isn't a bad thing because I really do like that type of movie. I think my issues with it were just like, it just went to like the big twist was just like Satanism, and like it just felt a little bit silly, I guess. It kind of lost me in the second half of the movie, if that makes sense. Just some of the things that were going on in the story and some of the explanations for all of the questions that were presented in the beginning were just kind of like Satanism, and I don't know, I didn't really love it that much, but I did absolutely love Nicolas Cage. He plays a serial killer, and he plays a really, really creepy, bizarre, and kind of funny version of this serial killer. And so I did love his performance. And I think that the main actress, I can't remember her freaking name. I'll write it on the screen. She's really good. I thought she did a great job. I think it was just the story itself was a little iffy at the end. So that's why I give it about the same, probably a 2.5 to 3 stars. And then the last movie, I didn't see it in theaters. I saw it when it came out on streaming, but it's pretty new, was Monkey Man. And oh my God, I loved it. It was such a good movie. If you watched my tarot through movie genres, you might remember me saying I'm not a big like action movie person. It's usually not my genre of choice, but oh my God, Monkey Man did it so right. I love the story. I love the setting. It had socio-political themes. It was, set in Mumbai, which was really beautiful. It also incorporated stories of the Hijra, which, for those of you who don't know, is a third gender from India and some of the surrounding areas that has been around, forever. And many of us in Western societies would see them as transgender women, if that makes sense. But they played this really interesting role in the storyline, and it was just so cool. It was really well done. I really enjoyed it and I had a lot of fun watching it. I definitely give that one 5 stars as well. Definitely worth renting and checking out if you haven't seen it yet. So those are the big movies we saw. And in terms of shows, I only have 2 to talk about. First of all, RuPaul's Drag Race All-Star Season 9. That was a wah for me. I'm going to give that one 2 stars. It's probably my least favorite RuPaul season that I've watched so far. It was really nice that they raised a lot of money for charity in this season, but I do feel like it took away some of those like high stakes, some of that like competitive edge a little bit, because they weren't really competing for money, which, you know, it's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's just something I noticed. And there was just so much blatant producer meddling in this show, and they tried to incorporate all these twists that were just totally pointless. And like, I get it, it's reality TV, it's faked, it's scripted, like I get it, but like at least let us live the fantasy, you know, like give us something to believe in, right? And it just was like all of these things like that they tried to do to make it interesting, whatever. Upcoming spoiler, click ahead like 20 seconds in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Angeria was the winner, and I actually was really surprised. I thought that they were going to give it to Roxy, because Roxy was definitely given the winner edit, but I love Angeria. She was one of my favorites on the season, and I definitely think she deserved the win. But yeah, I think that the producers are always trying to set it up and make it look one way or the other, you know, in order to cause controversy among the fans and have people tweet about it. And it's gotten really annoying at this point. It's disappointing because I've been watching this show since towards the very beginning, since I believe season 3 is when I started. And I think that was back in like 2011 or something like that. So a little bit disappointed there, but hey, it is what it is. And the last show I want to talk about is an animated sci-fi series that I think was on Netflix. I could be wrong, but it was called Scavenger's Reign, and oh my god, we absolutely loved it. There's just 1 season up right now. I think that they maybe got approved to make a 2nd season, and I really hope that they do, because first of all, it's so creative. The animation is so cool. Whoever thought of all of these creatures and monsters in this show is just brilliant. Basically, it follows the story of these people who were working on a spacecraft, and they accidentally crashed onto an alien planet, and there's only a few survivors who are trying to survive and traverse across this planet. There's all these crazy creatures, all this like new forms of life that are totally different than, you know, what we see here on Earth, and it's a very hostile environment for them, but they also are able to find beauty in it despite the fact that it's really hostile. So it's a really cool show. I highly recommend it if you're into sci-fi at all. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to a 2nd season of that. So that's all I have for movies and shows. Okay, so the part you've all been waiting for, let's get into the decks. Let's start with Kickstarter. There was like 4 freaking Kickstarter campaigns that I wanted to back over the past 2 months, and they were all running around the same exact time. So unfortunately, I had to pick and choose, because it would not be a smart idea for me to have like $300+ taken out of my account all at once. So the one that I did end up backing was the Tarot Sirena by Mr. Freeborg, I think is how you say it. It's a really beautiful mermaid deck, and it kind of felt like, it was an insta back for me because it felt like kind of like the mermaidy deck that I've been waiting for. There's like diverse mermaids, but it's still really beautiful. It feels like, I don't know, serious in a way, unlike some of the other mermaid decks that are out there. Not that there's anything wrong with corny, cheesy mermaid decks, like I'm into that too, but in this one, I think all of his decks have like very much a sense of humor, don't get me wrong, but I'm kind of talking about the art style in itself. I don't know, maybe I'm not explaining myself, but I backed that one, and then I did add on his Oracle deck called Purgatorium Hex as an add-on, and I'm really excited about that. It's like a black and white deck. It's very like Salem Witch Trials-esque, very like demonic vibes, but very humorous, very funny, very irreverent. So I'm definitely excited about that. I was really considering adding on his other deck, his tarot deck, which I think is just the Taroki by Mr. Freeborg, but eventually, we'll get that one eventually. I was really tempted by the Cave of Sybil by Tara May. That deck is so gorgeous. I don't have the Ritual Tarot, but this one did pique my interest, and I was about to back it. They were all funding around the same time. So I'm hoping to get that one eventually later on down the road. I was also really interested in the Sage Oak and Augur Tarot. That's by the same creator that did like the Journey of the Sacred Bee series. It's really beautiful collage style. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Illuminated Earth Oracle and Faceted Garden. I have a Faceted Garden, but it's a little more like vibrant. The colors are really like bright, and it looked really gorgeous, but same thing, it was funding at the same time, as well as the Anatomy of Healing. That one looked so cool. It's an oracle deck with like organs, and I love anatomy and physiology. I have the Energy Archaeology Oracle, which is so cool. That one's all bones, and so I was like, oh my god, wouldn't it be cool to have like an organs one too? But I decided to be good. I decided to wait. So I was definitely tempted. There was a lot of good decks going on, but I only ended up backing one. So let's move on to the decks that I acquired over the past 2 months. There's kind of a lot. I went a little crazy. The first one is a Kickstarter that came in. This is the Align Heart Affirmations deck by Kimberly M. San. And this is so cute. I've been waiting for this to come out for seriously so long. It says, are you scared to say goodbye to your caterpillar soul? This is my first ever affirmations deck, my like first ever true affirmations deck. And I had been waiting for this to come back into print for a while, so it was another Insta back. Look at these gorgeous, I love holographic edging, really pretty holographic elements on the back. And it's just a cute affirmation deck, and it's not something I'm normally super into, but I really like what these cards say. Like these feel like affirmations that would actually positively impact me in my life. And I don't know if you can tell, but each card has a little clear heart that you can like put your finger on, and it's supposed to like, you put your finger on it to like download the message. And I think that's just so cute. This newer edition has black text, so it's much easier to read than the older edition. And I think it's just so cute. It's so sweet. I'm really, really excited to have it. And yeah, I really, really like these affirmations. I thought I was going to pair this with like my cutesy decks, but I actually think this might be a year-rounder for me, just since I really like the things that it has to say. Oh, and the last thing that I was going to mention is the different color cards are kind of like suits. So they kind of like, how do I explain it? Like they tackle different, oops, I have these things mixed in there. I always do that. They have like different categories of affirmations essentially. So yeah, here it is. Reminders, self-love, healing, connection, and movement. So super sweet, super cute. That's the Heart Align affirmation. Okay, the next two I'm going to show are like, I did not plan on these. They were very spontaneously purchased. Which I don't do often, but I went to freaking Barnes & Noble, and there's two Barnes & Noble where I live, but one of them has a really good mass market deck selection, and it's really hard to resist when I go in there. So the first one is the Tarot Landscapes. So this is, the art is by Yoshi Mari, who's an amazing artist, and I guess it was written by Francesca Matteoni. I don't love this style box where it slides out from the bottom, because when you're trying to pick it up, you have to use like a firm grip so it doesn't slide out. And I wish like I would be fine with it. This is printed the other way so that it, do you see what I'm saying? Like gravity and stuff. I was just curious about this deck. I was really drawn to the artwork. Here's the backs. The backs are fine, but I was just really drawn to this beautiful art. And I don't really have a landscape deck. I like the spaciousness in these images. I like, you know me, I love me some animal, an animal deck, an animal and nature theme deck. I actually used this in the month of July, and I'm not gonna lie, I had a little bit of a hard time connecting with it. I don't know why. I want to find it a good pair. Sometimes that helps. I didn't really have a good pair for it. But like, that is gorgeous. It's really beautiful. So I feel like when I was using it, I kept pulling a lot of cards that were like kind of like a farm or like a country scene. Like, I didn't get a lot of these cards that are really like kind of darker and mysterious. So maybe I just need to keep working with it. I love this. I love octopuses. Maybe I need to keep working with it, get to know it a little bit more, because I just kept pulling like farm scenes and I'm like, what does this mean? But like I said, it's really gorgeous. I forgot to mention this. Excuse the dog hair. I have 3 dogs and a cat. So there's gonna be hair. On that same Barnes & Noble visit, I also picked up this Goddess of Love Tarot. This popped up in my blindly ranking 10 decks video, I believe. And it's so cute. I haven't worked with it yet. I think it's gonna come out in the next month or 2. This was definitely a spontaneous one. I wasn't planning on getting this deck. I was like, I don't need another collage deck. But I had seen a lot of people showing it off, and I do think it's really gorgeous. I really do like this collage style. I'm getting like, what the heck? Is it still in order? I guess it's still in order. That's fine. I thought I had shuffled that. That's really weird. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the order. It's kind of weird, but it's like semi in order, I guess. I love the suit of pentacles with the reds and the greens. Oh, that's my favorite suit in this deck. I think it's just absolutely beautiful. And I think it's really interesting. It's an interesting take on the traditional tarot, and I like all the snakes. And there's like a panther or something, or a jaguar or something in some of the cards. So I think it's really cool. I don't have any other like love themed decks. Not that this is like a relationship deck, but it's like Goddess of Love deck. I don't know. It's something unique. And I'm a huge fan of collage style artwork. The Mermaid. I love it. So I'm excited to work with this. Next year, I'm definitely going to bust it out in February and be all cliche like that. But I'm going to try to get to it at least a little bit this year and maybe bring it out in August. Maybe later in August or sometime in September before fall, because it doesn't really feel like a fall deck. Lucky for me, summer lasts until the end of October here, so I got time. So lucky for me, but also very unlucky for me, because I hate the summer here. Okay, the next deck is a really special one. This is unfortunately an out of print deck that I've been, like a unicorn deck that I've wanted forever. This is the French edition of the Healing Waves Tarot. I really wanted to buy the Healing Waves deck forever, and I waited too long because now the prices are up into like the 500, 600, like way too expensive. And even the French edition, which came out more recently, like the prices are getting up to that point. So I found one on eBay that was like a reasonable price. This is the certificate of authenticity. And I finally decided to just, bite the bullet and get this deck before the price is like seriously, before it's like impossible. And I'm so glad I did, because like I said, it's a unicorn deck for me. It's just beautiful cardstock, blue edges, so lovely. So the French edition has borders, while the original one was borderless, and I kind of like the borders actually. I love the sunfish. This deck was painted with watercolors using ocean water. The creator is Thai. I'm sure y'all have seen it, but it's just one that I love so much. This is another one that I was using in July with all of my oceany, mermaidy, and some naturey decks. And the ratings I did do with it were amazing. So I'm really glad that I finally was able to bring this into my collection. I adore the ocean. I adore the beach. I love ocean animals. Like, I'm obsessed with whales and dolphins, but mostly whales. And I just think it's stunning. It's so, so pretty. So yeah, I'm really glad that I was able to get that unicorn deck. I pounced on it on the chance. So that's the Healing Waves Tarot. And I only have a couple more. This one was a gift from my beautiful partner. They bought me the Love Oracle of Eden. This was a secondhand deck that we saw for a really good price at our local buy-sell trade store, which I don't know if everywhere has those, but we have this place where I live called Bookman's. It's all over Arizona, and it's basically a place where people can sell their shit and you can buy used stuff. So this is a deck that's been on my radar for a long time, and my partner very generously purchased it for me as a gift. Wow. Look at those. I love those like brownish, maroonish edges. So pretty. This is so beautiful. I love this one because they're all on a pole and I do pole dance. It's so beautiful. I don't have a lot of photography decks besides the Somnia Tarot. I'm pretty sure that's my only other photography deck. So this is really exciting. And it's just stunning. I love the like muted colors. I love, obviously, the diversity of bodies that we see in these cards, and I like the keywords. They're very expansive, and some of them are really kind of generic, but some of them have really good keywords that are unique. This is so cool. Definitely a body positive, sex positive, queer positive kind of vibe, which is my vibe. And it's just stunning. And I talked about this. I love this forgiveness card. And then there's a self-care card in here that made me cry when I first saw it. So I'm not going to dig through the whole deck again. Trans flag. But a really beautiful one. I found a really good pairing for it, and I'm really excited to bust it out. I think it's going to come out in the fall this year. So that is the Love Oracle of Eden. And it's by, who is it by? Oh yeah, Abusua Publishing. And the art is by AJ Hamilton. Beautiful. It says it's visual poetry, and I couldn't agree more. All right, I'm struggling to get it in the box, so I'm just gonna toss it aside and deal with it later. Okay, the other 3 decks that I got are all used decks from the same buy-sell trade store. And they're all really cheap. So the first one is another out-of-print deck. This is the Animals Divine Tarot, and this is the Spanish edition. It was really cheap. It didn't have a guidebook, and I'm sad about that because it would be really cool to have a guidebook for this deck. I had never even heard of this deck before. Let me put these aside. But these are the backs. This deck has, I speak Spanish, and it's cool for me to practice the animal names because it's not my first language, so I don't know every animal name super well. But the majors and the court cards have deities, and it's co-ed. And then all of the minors have animals. So it's very much an animal-based deck, and even the deities have like little animals that are accompanying them. So, yes. The artwork is stunning. It's by, what's her name? Lisa Hunt. Beautiful artwork. I don't own a lot of, like, goddess or deities decks. I have the Dark Goddess Tarot. And I think that's it. I mean, unless you consider the tarot, what is it called? Tarot of the Divine. That one has like folk tales, and I think there's some like gods and goddesses in there, but like, yeah, I don't have a lot of decks that have deities and stuff like that, so I thought this was really interesting. I don't know, maybe I could find a PDF version online of the guidebook, but either way, you know, it's not that hard to do my own research of some of these deities, and yeah, this was just a really good find. I love that it's in Spanish too, because I don't actually have any Spanish decks right now, like that are actually in Spanish. So that's really cute. I definitely got to get a bag for it because this box is really flimsy and like falling apart. But so yeah, that was a cute little find. I was glad I was able to snag that. It was super cheap. And the next two are the decks by Skull Garden, so the Earthbound Oracle and the Seeker's Lenormand. This is my first Lenormand deck. Oh shit, I forgot to put these away with it. Let me grab that real quick. But yeah, I'm not necessarily like trying to learn Lenormand or like take that on or anything right now. I got other things that I want to study and deep dive and stuff like that. But these decks were being sold together and they were so freaking cheap that I was like, yeah, they're at the use buy sell trade store, and I was like, you know, I'm not gonna leave the Lenormand behind. So I went for it, and I had this Oracle had been on my wish list for a really long time, so I was really glad I was able to snag it. Oops. So yeah, basically what I'm trying to say is I don't know anything about raiding Lenormand, but I think that it's really cool. I have the wooden tarot. So I have all, that's interesting. I have almost a complete collection. I think there's just one other of his decks, the Pathfinder, I think that's called, that I don't have. I love this mantis leg. His art is just so strange and beautiful and provocative. And these images paired with the words are, at least on the Oracle, are just so thought-provoking to me. So yeah, that was a really good find. I love the eyeballs and everything. This makes me feel a certain type of way that I cannot explain, but it makes me want to rip my eyes out. If you know what I mean, you know what I mean. Like lotus seed pods, kind of same deal. Look at that for the writer. That is so precious. So yeah, I'm really excited about that one. So those are all the new decks that came in. Oops, I have one more that I almost forgot. This is the deck that I got in Flagstaff on my little trip up there at one of the crystal stores. And it's the Nicoletta Ccecoli Tarot. This is another one that I've been really interested in for ever. There was more than one title card. But yeah, I finally picked it up. I love the backs, and I'm not sure how this deck is going to fit into my practice yet, but I just know that the cards are really provoking. They're very thought-provoking. They're definitely can be a little bit triggering, but I think that's a good thing. I want my decks to trigger me sometimes. I did just like a quick reading with this when I first got it, and it was honestly spot on. So yeah, I'm excited about it. I really, really like Nicoletta Ccecoli's artwork, and I'm excited to have this be part of my collection. Now, we're actually on to the deck and deck pairings I worked with in June and July. Okay, so let's start by taking a look at all of the decks that I worked with in June and how I paired them together, if at all. So the first little group I'm going to show is the Old Ways Magick Oracle by Naomi Cornock. This is the older one that has less cards. I have the Caitlin Matteson Tarot, or the Tarot by Caitlin Matteson, should I say, and the Love and Mystery Tarot by Ayumi Kasai. So I paired this oracle with both of these two, and I think that they work really well together. Not necessarily as a trio, but that's how we'll look at them for right now, just for the sake of time. I'm obsessed with the backs of the Caitlin Matteson deck. So pretty. I'm happy that Naomi Cornock released like a bigger deck. But I wish there was like an option to buy an expansion to my existing deck, because I don't want to be wasteful and like throw this away or get rid of it. You know what I mean? Like, I like this deck. So unless they offer an expansion, I probably will just keep the one I have, because I don't want to buy a whole new one and just be wasteful with my cards. Struggle. Okay. Let me get this all set up. Move my coffee cup. So these two really are like a perfect pair for me. I just think that they speak so well together, and these two are more of like an unexpected pair. This is like a very, very pippy pip deck, just so you know. But I just feel like these two, the energy really fits the vibe, if you know what I mean. The art styles are slightly different, but I like it when they're slightly different. And there's just so much going on. It may be like a little bit overwhelming for some people, but I like it. It's like there's so much to discover in every card, and this one is the same way. And do one more. Yeah, so that's the first little deck family, little deck group that I worked with in June. So the next little trio is the A Little Rain Oracle by Ambi Sun, Children of Litha by Zia Hunt, and the Oriens Tarot, also by Ambi Sun. So these are by the same creator, so they're kind of like a made-for-you pairing, which I love made-for-you pairings so much. But I do feel like this one is a good match for the Children of Litha as well. They all have like dark backgrounds and bright colors, so I think that they go really well together. This is the indie version of the Oriens Tarot with the red edges. My copy is pretty well loved, as you can see. This A Little Rain deck was pretty new to me, but I really, really, really enjoyed it, and I'm really glad that I was able to get a copy. I hate the two-part box situation though, but it is what it is. Hello, gorgeous backs. So it is a botanical deck, mostly flowers, I believe. And the Oriens is an animal deck. And Children of Litha is more of a fantasy deck that also is very animal based, but it also has like mythical creatures and regular people in it as well. Yeah, this is just so beautiful. Like, all the dark backgrounds. I love decks with black backgrounds. They just look so good. Litha and Oriens are some old school decks in my collection. I've had them forever, and I absolutely love with them. And I tend to pull them out the same time every year in June, you know, Litha. But just look how beautiful this looks together. Like, oh, stunning. These two are obviously a perfect pair because they're by the same creator. But I think that these two work really well together too. I haven't found any other deck to pair Children of Litha with. I'm a plant and botanicals beginner, but I think that this one, even though it doesn't have any keywords, the guidebook is really good, and it tells you about the history and, like, you know, the properties and all that kind of stuff. But it's so sweet and so uplifting and positive, and I really like that for this purpose, I guess. So beautiful. Oh my goodness. It's an amazing trio here. So yeah, that's Children of Litha, A Little Rain, and the Oriens. I actually am gonna bring out one other deck that I kind of paired with the A Little Rain Oracle, which is a Star Power Tarot by Six-Sad Girls, and I won all 4 of the Six-Sad Girls decks in an Instagram giveaway, and I haven't really found the perfect pair for this one yet. All the other ones have found a decent pairing for the most part. This one, unfortunately, I thought I knew. I thought it was gonna pair really well with the what's it called? Modern Nirvana, but that one paired way better with the Moon Power, surprisingly. So I did pair these two together this month because I wanted to get this deck out on my table. And I think they work, but it's not a perfect pair to me, I guess. I love this. I love this deck. I think out of all 4, I thought it was going to be my favorite, and it's actually the one I connected with the least. But I still think it's really cool, and it's very, like, inner, like, older teen / young adult, like, college kid for me. And I think that the creator is just so unique and creative, and I just love to see all of their different interpretations of the tarot cards, which is super cool. I'm thinking about it now, I'm wondering if it would pair well with the Outgrow Yourself Oracle and / tarot. But if you pair this deck, if you have the Star Power and you pair it with any other decks, let me know which ones. Or if you think it would pair well with other decks, let me know which ones you think, because it hasn't quite found its little family yet. So that's the Star Power. Okay, next up I have the Naoshi Majors Only Tarot and the indie version of the Rainbow Tarot by Sonia Lazo. The box is looking a little dusty and beat up, but that's okay. That's what it's there for, right? I grabbed the Rainbow Tarot as soon as I found out it was gonna hit the mass market because I knew I wanted the indie version, and I'm glad I did because I heard some not so great things about the quality of the mass market version, which is a shame because this is such a cool deck. And this is the Naoshi Tarot. The artist name is Naoshi. It's a Majors Only deck, and it's just like an RWS clone. And this one is, all of the art is created with colored sand, which is so freaking cool. I guess we'll do one of these situations here. So my Majors Only decks, I usually do pair them with other tarot decks, and this is just such a cute and fun pairing. I'm obsessed with both of these decks. They're just so fun, and they pair so well together. The colors are just so vibrant, and the characters are so funny. Like, this is definitely a good mood combo for sure. Will definitely put a smile on my face, make me laugh. Like, look how grumpy they are. And it's just so fun. This was a great summer vibe, and I had a lot of fun playing with these together. Woo. I love all the little characters in the Naoshi Tarot, like the little background characters. And this hair, like, I want that hair. So yeah, that is the Rainbow Tarot and the Naoshi Tarot. So the last deck I worked with in June is the Tarot of the Silicon Dawn. I already pulled it out of the box, so you didn't have to watch me struggle. I hate those 2-part boxes so much. And I just pulled out half of it because it's a chunky little guy. This is unfortunately out of print. Really cool queer tarot deck that completely has its own system and its own way of looking at the tarot. It has an entire extra suit. It's got multiple versions of some of the cards. And yeah, this is a deck that I'm still getting to know over time. It's a deck that I definitely need to take my time with. It's not one that you can easily just understand, I think, right out of the box. It definitely takes time to get to know it. But it's so cool. It's a really important part of queer history. Look at this. Awesome. So unique. An important part of queer tarot history. And I love it. I do think it pairs well. Like, I mean, it doesn't pair, but it matches the overall vibe of all the decks that I worked with in June. Just kind of has like dark backgrounds. Like, I don't even know what that is. But yeah, and kind of like dark background, vibrant color kind of deal. So those were all my June decks. Overall, I feel like they were really a mostly cohesive little deck family. I think the star power kind of like stood out a little bit. Like it kind of matched, but it kind of didn't. Like the family isn't a perfect like capsule collection, which is what I'm usually going for. So I might switch it up a little bit next year and play around with where I put all of these decks in my monthly lineup. But overall, it was a fun group, and I really had a good time reading with the cards that I chose. I also wanted to mention these 2 decks. I forgot to talk about the Lamas one in the beginning, or back in the acquisitions section, but I did work with this one back in like June through mid-July, and this one I'm working with like mid-July through the end of this month in August. Yeah, I think these are both really beautiful. You've probably seen them a million bazillion times, so I'm not gonna like open them up and flip through. And if you haven't, you can easily look them up. They're the Season of the Witch decks, the Litha Oracle and the Lamas Oracle. I think they're really beautiful. I have all of them except for the Ostara one, which hasn't come out yet. And I am planning on getting it. I do feel like I didn't work with these 2 as much as I did with the other ones earlier on in the year. Like I was really good, like consistent about pulling cards from those ones, and these ones kind of, like I feel like they didn't quite, well, this one did kind of match the vibes of the decks I was working with in June. This one didn't really necessarily match with the decks I was working with in July, since like I said, I was working with a lot of like ocean-y decks, so I think that's why it kind of got left behind a little bit. And I'm trying to think, it doesn't really work that well with it. Well, I haven't really played with it with the decks I have out on my table for August, but I'm thinking I might need to rethink the way that I use these decks. Lisa Papez, I think, mentioned using them for like a nighttime card pull, and that really intrigues me. I think that she was maybe going to make another video talking more about that, but I think maybe I need to switch it up and maybe use these in a little bit of a different way, like pulling a card before bed and reading the guidebook or something like that, because I do really love them. I love tapping into seasonal energy. I think the art is really beautiful, and I just think the concept of this whole series is just really cute and really fun. So I didn't want to leave these ones out of the running. Okay, so overall in the month of July, I chose all of my ocean-y / mermaidy decks, and I also chose a couple just very nature-y kind of decks. I already showed the tarot landscapes, and it didn't really have a buddy, it didn't really have a pair this month in this selection, so I won't re-show that one. But I guess we'll start with my ocean decks that I use that are very, very ocean-y ocean decks. The first one is the Whispers of the Ocean Oracle. I also have the Dolphin and Whale Oracle, which is a French deck. This one is a gift from my partner. So it's really, really sweet because we both love ocean animals. And this one is mostly focused on dolphins and whales, but it is in French. And then, of course, I already showed this one, the Healing Waves Tarot, and I also have the Wisdom of the Depths Tarot. So let's just look at all four of these together. It's going to be interesting, but I think this one pairs the least. The other three actually are a really good pairing. This one's like a little bit more, these ones are very like soft, muted. Oops, I hit the camera. And this Whispers of the Oceans one is really bright, like super bright, vibrant, kind of cheesy, but in a good way. I think that one, the Mermaid Tarot, like there's a million Mermaid Tarots, but the one that's like kind of like Disney Pixar-esque, I think that one would look really good with this ocean, what's it called? Whispers of the Ocean Oracle deck. So there's that. Let's see, we'll put the Oracle cards in the middle. Like, I don't know if I can fit. Let's try. Otherwise, I'll break them half and half. Check out these backs. So beautiful. This one has silver gilding. Okay, let's scoot these over. We'll throw, okay, I'm struggling as usual. Okay, boom, boom. We can throw Wisdom of the Depths on this side. This is also a newer to me deck, but I really enjoyed working with it. Pairs really well with this Dolphins and Whales Oracle. And last but not least, this guy. Oh my god, this is so fun. I haven't done this yet with all four of these super oceany decks together. But yeah, these decks are all really beautiful. And they just bring me that, they bring me to the ocean. I live not near the ocean. It takes me about 7 hours by car to get there, which I did make it out 2 times this summer. So I feel very, very grateful that I was able to do so. But yeah, sometimes in the heat of the summer here, I need these cards to kind of transport me to like my happy place on the beach and to somewhere where I get to see all of these amazing creatures and just feel the cool vibes of the water. So this was a really fun grouping. Like I said, I mostly paired these 3 together. But looking at them all together is kind of fun. Like, it kind of works. This deck, like I said, it's kind of like that old school, kind of cheesy, like Oracle vibe, which I love, where it has the message right here on the card. Usually I don't read the bottom text. I just look at the keyword, and that's kind of how I get the message. I feel like sometimes when I read the text on these ones, I get like, it's like too much, or it like confuses me. So usually I just read like convey your meaning. So yeah, those are my very oceany ocean decks that I used in July. Okay, the next 3 we're gonna look at are the Coastal Curiosities Oracle deck by Lennox Rees, the Uncommon Tarot by Shaheen Miro, and the Last of Their Kind Tarot by Lynn Lee. This is such a versatile Oracle deck. It pairs with like everything basically. So these are 2 examples of how I paired it this month, but honestly it paired well with almost every deck I pulled out, including the ones that were hard to pair. Gorgeous linen cardstock, beautiful collage style. The Uncommon Tarot is so pretty. It's a really beautiful mass market tarot, also collage style. So those two naturally make a really good pair. And then this one, I have some ideas of different decks to pair it with in the future. But this month I really wanted to get it out, and I felt like it matched the vibe of like ocean and nature themes. And yeah, so we'll take a quick, I almost like want to put the circular one in the middle even though it's not the oracle. Yeah, let's do it. I just think it'll look cool. This look is so cute. This circular deck, the Last of Its Kind Tarot, is just stunningly beautiful. It's awkward though because it's a circle, so sorry that the cards are all going to be a little bit upside down, slightly different angle. Look at this beautiful Nine of Cups card with the goldfish. It has a lot of fish in this deck, so it works with the oceany theme, but also just lots of beautiful animals. I love this card. But yeah, these two look really cool together. So yeah, I had a lot of fun with these decks. I have different plans for these two in the future, and for this one, I guess, of course. But yeah, so that's the Coastal Curiosities, the Last of Their Kind, and the Uncommon Tarot. Okay, so this is my last little group. Thanks for bearing with me through this long ass video. I left the Coastal Curiosities out because I think it also pairs really nicely with the Forhaxa. Like I said, it's super versatile. But I have the Enchanting Forhaxa by MJ Cullinane. This is the India edition. And I have the Mermaid's Purse Oracle by Olivia Rose, or Lala's Dreambox. So Mermaid's Purse is obviously a mermaid deck. And Forhaxa is a fairy deck, but it also has mermaids in it, so it works. It is kind of bridging that gap of ocean and nature, like I said. The indie version has very slippery cardstock. And then, of course, our Coastal Curiosities. Okay. So they look a little weird all together, I think, but if you just envision these two and then these two, I don't think that these two fit, but these two and these two do. Oh no, I have reversals. No, what happened? It's okay. This always happens to me. But yeah, this is just a really fun, like, mermaidy fairy pair. Oh god, not this deck too. Hopefully just these two. Okay. These actually look really pretty, these two right here. But yeah, this is a really fun little combo. Forhaxa is one of my favorite decks, and it felt very fitting for this time of year. So yeah, that's all I really have to say. Really fun group of decks for July as well. Not totally cohesive. It was kind of like the nature-y and the ocean-y, and then this one is kind of both, right? This one's kind of both too. So I might switch things up moving forward, but I got to know some new decks in that group and just had a lot of fun with it. So that is it. Thank you so much for watching and hanging out with me today. No matter where you are and no matter who you are, I hope the rest of your day is filled with so much magic and so much joy. Bye bye.